Peter Scully Groiper sent $3. The worst part of Marge tweeting negatively about you is the libtards.
Groipers, on a scale of like straight to gay, where does Nick fall on that scale? Like if 1 is straight and 10 is gay, where, like, let's just be honest. You guys all have aliases anyway. You're not doing it under your real name. Can we just have an honest conversation? How gay is he? 1 being straight, 10 being gay. You can give an honest answer. I won't tell anyone. I promise.
Smugly posting the picture of you next to that ogre.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think it's so bad. It's just funny because it's true. It's like, all these people want to attack me conveniently after the falling out. It's like nobody ever has a problem when they're benefiting from our relationship. And then the second that they're not, then I'm the worst guy ever. Even Marjorie, when she goes before my screaming crowd of 1,200 plus of young people, she never gets.
Okay, so we have some nice groipers in the chat right now, and they're rating it in, and I appreciate that, guys. It's great. But can we just? Do you guys really think? I'm honestly asking. I really am, and groipers in Nick's chat can answer as well. Do you guys really think that Nick is straight? Like, in real life? I mean, this has got to be some sort of LARP. Like, I truly mean that. You guys can't think that Nick is... in real life, you think that he's straight? I understand you guys have this whole image of, you're like, no homosexuality, it's a sin. Like, you do this whole kind of, thing, but you guys really don't think he's straight, right? Wow. I mean, we're all allowed to have our perspectives, I guess. You're allowed to think that Nick is straight. I don't understand. What is your criteria for assessing that Nick is straight? See, here's an answer I really respect. I don't care. You know what? Yeah, that's actually the correct answer. Absolutely. I mean, do you have any proof that he's straight? Has Nick ever had a girlfriend? Has Nick ever kissed a girl? Has Nick ever held a girl's hand? I'm honestly asking. I'm trying to have a real conversation here. What's the criteria? Well, I mean, that's a great question. What is the criteria for assessing that Nick is straight? Because, if I were... Okay, let's establish some criteria for assessing Nick is either straight or gay. The criteria that I would set for proof that Nick is straight is some sort of evidence that Nick has ever dated a girl. Has Nick ever gone out on a single date with a single girl that you guys know of? Well, no, Kelly. I mean, Kelly, this is correct. You don't have to have a girlfriend to be straight. But if we don't have that as the criteria, because we have to, in order to prove that Nick... I'm sorry, I'm barely holding it together. In order to prove that Nick Fuentes is straight, because that's the challenge here, right? Is we need to establish some criteria to prove emphatically that Nick is straight, based on evidence, based on objective reality, things that we can all agree upon. So we can set the criteria as being Nick is straight because at some point in his life, Nick dated a girl. We have some sort of picture with a girl. He has gone out on a date at least once in his life with a girl. That could be criteria. Now, if Nick hasn't done that, that doesn't necessarily mean Nick is gay, right? But we would need to establish some other criteria in order to prove that Nick is actually straight if we can't use the criteria of he's had a girlfriend. So has Nick ever had a girlfriend? I'm being deadly serious. Have you guys ever seen any evidence at all? Has Nick ever expressed interest in a girl? Because I saw that video of Nick shopping in the mall with that cat guy. And it kind of seemed like that was a date. Just a little bit. I mean, they didn't kiss or anything, but it did kind of seem like that was a date. So we have evidence potentially that Nick has been on a date with someone who is obviously gay. So Tech Marine says he expresses interest in girl in the latest Pearly Things podcast. Okay, so we do have some evidence that Nick has expressed some interest in a girl. I suppose that's good. I suppose that's progress. Did he do it in like a straight sort of way where he was like, I want to sleep with the girl? Or did he do it in some sort of gay kind of way where he was commenting on the girl's appearance? I'm just trying to come up with objective criteria here. And I feel like you guys know gay men better than I do on a repressed level because you can't know anyone better than you know yourselves. But I feel like in reality, I probably know gay men better than you guys do because I attract gay men like moss to a flame. So I understand how gay men talk and I understand how straight men talk, all right? Well, yeah, I mean, this is actually true. The vast majority of men who watch my channel are gay men. Not all of them. There are some straight men too. I'm sure there are other sexualities and genders thrown in, whatever. But it is actually true that I have a disproportionately high percent of my male audience are gay. Absolutely. So has anyone come up with any evidence that Nick has dated a girl? Okay, so we're going to continue and watch a little bit more of this stream. And Groypers, I need you to dig deep here. Can we come up with some single piece of evidence that Nick is straight? Just one thing. Just one. That's all I'm asking. It's not too much. He's been a public person for a really long time. You guys have all sorts of files on everyone for everything. Just one piece of evidence that Nick Fuentes is straight. Let's keep going.
Technicality. Homo sapiens only. You must be 25 years old.
Hang on. There is no need to be rude. Nick Fuentes knows a lot of people. Nick Fuentes is like world famous, right? He's the best guy, the most entertaining guy. I'm sure that Nick Fuentes has been around at least one girl as appealing and attractive and as amazing as he is. I find it just hard to believe that Nick's standards are so high that he has never been around one single girl. Because honestly, like I would think that women would be flocking to Nick. Would it, if Nick was really the most amazing person in the history of people? And he was just like the greatest at everything he does and the smartest and the best dresser and the richest and all of these things. Wouldn't women just be flocking to him? Like it would really seem to me that he would have the pick of the litter. And so all I'm asking is for one piece of evidence, just one, a photo, a text message, a video of one single time that Nick Fuentes has ever been on a date with a woman. That's all I'm asking for. Again, you guys have files on everyone. I know the way you work. You got all these things. You got screenshots and all this crap. Just one photo of Nick holding a girl's hand. Or with his arm around a girl in a way that it looks like they're on a date, not that he's out with his sister or something. I'm not asking too much, Groypers. I'm really not. We're talking about objective reality here. And I want objective evidence that Nick is straight.
He was a real bro when I met up with him. It's loyalty, man.
Hang on. So Half Orc Fighter says, Carlin, you do realize there's a 50-50 chance that any girl he dates is going to be a beard, right? Well, I do realize that. And listen, I'm not saying that a single picture of Nick on a date with a girl is going to be like definitive evidence that Nick is straight. But because you're correct, there is the possibility. I would not put it past Nick Fuentes to date a girl just to, as a beard for show. However, I do think a really good start to establishing evidence that Nick is straight is just one picture of him with a girl that it looks like they're on a date or something. Or one piece of evidence that he's ever had a girlfriend or kissed a girl or hung out with a girl or talked to a girl or I mean, just like, we have to start somewhere, right? It might not be perfect, but it's the system that we have. If anyone has a better suggestion, I am all ears.